YouTube and Auburn fan base. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. Go ahead and like the video. Well, as a matter of fact, you don't have to like it yet because you hadn't heard it yet. But go ahead and share the video because we want the content to definitely get out there. Subscribe, of course. Always great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. Man, Twitter is actually a really funny thing. I was actually kind of scrolling through and even looking on the All About Auburn fan page on Facebook. And, you know, they were kind of talking about who are going to be the top running backs in coming into this particular season. Of course, we know Tank Bigsby is kind of in a class by himself, the top recruit of the 2020 recruiting class. I'm going to call him a 5-star recruit because that's what he is. Even though in a lot of outlets they list him as a 4-star recruit. But this guy's a 5-star recruit, and he's performed as such. Then you have Jordan Ingram, who joined the team via the transfer portal. Kind of interesting story with Jordan Ingram because he was actually recruited not only by Auburn during his recruiting process, offered back in 2018, but was going to be a part of the 2018 recruiting class. There were actually 5 other SEC teams that recruited him. Ironically, from Mobile, St. Episcopal High School. It appeared, though, when you look at the chronology of his recruitment, it just seemed like even though they offered him, it just didn't seem like they were really heavily pursuing to that extreme. Even to the point where from looking back at it, you look at Tank Bigsby as the top recruit for the 2020 recruiting class. Auburn clearly had, super priority for Tank Bigsby to where their eyes were kind of tunnel vision to where we got to have this guy. And that probably left guys like Jordan Ingram kind of on the outside looking in. And, of course, other SEC teams probably had their priorities. And Jordan Ingram subsequently goes to Central Michigan to play running back. But now, here's the kicker. During this whole transfer portal orientation, if you will, Auburn lost a good deal of their front court at the running back position. DJ Williams, Mark Anthony Richards. Those would have been that trio of guys. Tank Bigsby, Mark Anthony Richards, and DJ Williams, I think would have been a really good tandem in the SEC. Maybe arguably one of the best, for sure. But they take their show on the road, and with this opportunity, Jordan Ingram probably thought, well, hey, this is a good opportunity for me to go back home. Or back to my home state. As a matter of fact, Auburn probably might have been one of the teams that he wanted to go to. But he was probably looking at Central Michigan as a place where he can get some immediate playing time. So he went there, now hits the transfer portal, now signs back under Brian Harsin, who obviously didn't recruit him out of high school because Brian Harsin was out in Boise State. Then you got Devin Barrett, who was recruited by Auburn out of Florida as a running back, but comes to Auburn and winds up, playing running back first couple of years, then transfers positions as a member of the secondary. Didn't have much luck there, and of course, because of the exodus of DJ Williams and Mark Anthony Richards, here comes the running back spot again, to where he can play what one would think would be his natural position. He played at majority of high school. Now, what's really interesting about this is you got the obvious stuff. You got the obvious stuff with Tank Bigsby as the top running back. Now, I don't think anybody on this roster as running back has the skill set to dethrone Tank Bigsby from his number one spot, especially after that freshman campaign in the abbreviated season, even facing injury, getting close to 900 yards in that year. I don't think that's possible. Well, it's possible, but I don't think it's going to happen. But now we're looking at the number 2 spot. for the Auburn Tigers. And most of us who follow Auburn content, we follow, to a certain degree, Jake Crane. Jake Crane from the JBoy show. I think it's a really, really good show. Now, if you check him out, he's got a lot of action going on his channel. He talks to former football coaches. He talks to NFL players. He talks to current football coaches, former Auburn players, former, people who are newscasters. He's very well versed and, from what I can gather, pretty well connected. He also is really good, from what I can see, at predicting where recruits are going to go. Real good at the crystal ball thing. Jake Crane says, though, and this is pretty interesting in my opinion, Jake Crane says that the number 2 running back for the Auburn Tigers is going to be not Devin Barrett, not Sean Shivers, even though I didn't mention him on the list earlier. Sean Shivers, that name speaks for itself. Has had some memorable moments at Auburn and has been a pretty steady figure in the backfield for the last few years. Oh, no, not Sean Shivers. The Worm, not Sean Shivers. He won't be the number 2 back. Jordan Ingram, who we mentioned early, who had the whirlwind of a recruiting process, now back home at Auburn, or back home in the state of Alabama, he won't be the number 2 recruit, according to Jake Crane. Matter of fact, make sure you go check his show out. It's actually pretty good. But either way, Jarquez Hunter, first year, not necessarily the most heralded recruit even in the state of Mississippi, one of the lowest ranked running backs that Auburn has had in recent history, has not played a down of college football. Can he do it, though? Can he do it? Does he have the skill set? Will he be in physical condition to do so? Because I remember Spiller out at Texas A&M, about the same size, I think, of Jarquez Hunter. He was forced into action because Corbin, number 7, the running back for Texas A&M, was forced out because of injury. Now he had to come in, and clearly he was not in physical condition to play football in the SEC as a true freshman. That's going to be a factor. Unlike Tank Bigsby, who came in ready to go out of the gate. Matter of fact, when I used to look at Tank Bigsby's highlights, I'm like, damn, he could have played right. Like he needs to be here now. We need him now. But Jake Crane, like I said before, from the JBoy show, he says that Jarquez Hunter is more than likely going to be the, and I'm kind of quoting this thing. I'm not putting words in the guy's mouth, but that's what the tweet says. The number 2 running back in Auburn. I'm not saying it's not plausible. I'm not saying it can't happen. But you still got Tank Bigsby there, and I think that's going to be a hell of a fight. Let me know what you think about this video. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. We got about 10 more subscribers before we get to 4,400. I want to get to that by tomorrow. But either way, I'm thankful of getting to where we're at now. But seriously, let me know what you think about this particular video, because it's going to be very important how the depth chart of the running back is set up going into a very, very interesting schedule. That's very kind of light at the top end of it, but it gets real heavy after that Penn State game, and depth, experience, ability, all of those things are going to play a part, because Tank Bigsby is not going to be able to foot this load by himself. Like the video, comment, and subscribe. Big shout out to JBoy, Jake Crane of the JBoy show. Go check him out on YouTube. Fun stuff to watch. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle.